Hi, I enjoyed wearing props last week, so I'm just going to carry on doing that. It's just so fun. It makes it exciting and entertaining. So here it goes. I'm still wearing my bunny glasses, and I'm going to show you how we can make a puzzle. You can really use any picture you want. If you've printed a picture that is in color, then you can kind of jump a whole bunch of steps and go to the end of this video and see how I make my picture into a puzzle. You can also use the back of your favorite cereal box that sometimes has pictures on. You can even use the front of the cereal box because it's a little bit sturdier. What I've done is I've printed off a picture from the internet to color in. You can also use from a coloring book and use the coloring pages. So I've colored in half of it just to help us time-wise for this video, but for this one we're gonna work on our coloring and then drawing our lines to make the lines to cut on and then make the puzzle. So let's get started. The first thing, and I know you'll say, oh Miss Claire, you always say that, pick a fun color to color in your butterfly or any picture you've chosen. Remember, when you are coloring in, you want to stay in the line. So look at the outside lines. That's where we want to stick inside that area. We also want to hold our crayon really nicely with a really great grip. This is a great grip. Like that. That is also okay. And for our really young ones, they're probably going to hold it like that. And that's okay because that is also a very good developing grip. It's going to then merge into that. So when we're coloring in a nice pattern and staying on the line, in the lines and coloring our whole picture. We don't want any white showing. For the bigger areas, you can use bigger movements. So you can see that my whole hand is moving and the whole time I'm holding down my page so that it doesn't move around. I'm keep looking at my paper the whole time too. That way I can see what spots I've missed out. So I can still, for those bigger spaces, use a bigger movement pattern. Then, let me choose another color. Let's go green. For the smaller area, I can use just my fingers. My fingers will just move around and I will get all of that area covered in. My whole hand's not moving, just my fingers, so I can stay in the area. Remember, you can use as many colors as you want to. Make it super colorful, make it one color. This is your choice. This is your time to be creative and decorate how you would like. And the whole time I'm covering all the white parts, so there's no white showing. There's some really great websites out there that allow us to print pictures for free, these coloring pictures. You can also just use your coloring books. Or even be super creative and draw a picture. Ooh, that's a good idea. I know some of you are some great drawers and great artists. So I'm coloring this all in. Okay, this is my last little piece. Okay. What we need to do is decide how big we want to make our puzzle. We can cut off the top and around, or do you want it just the whole page? You could even, if you really want to just have the picture, you can cut around the picture. That might be a little tricky for some people to cut all the way around the picture. It's your choice. Give it a try. But I'm gonna just make it almost this width of this page, and then just cut off the end here. So when I'm cutting, I'm holding my paper, thumbs up. My other hand is holding the page, and I'm cutting. And I keep looking at where I'm cutting. Okay, now I've got my picture the size that I want. So we then need to decide how many pieces do you want in your puzzle. I'm going to make mine 5 pieces. So this is where you decide how tricky you want it. Do you want it just straight lines? Do you want designs in it to make it a little bit more tricky to put together? How many pieces do you want? All big pieces that are, then it's going to have to be less pieces, or if you want really small pieces, or a mix of both. That's where you can decide. It's yours. So what I'm going to show you is how to draw the lines on the back and cut it out. So let's take this down. I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to do 5 pieces. I'm going to make it some straight lines. So I've got one straight line straight down the middle. I'm going to do a zigzag line. I'm going to do a wavy line. And I'm going to do another zigzag line, but make it a little wider than what I've made it there. And that's also going to work on a lot of my different cutting skills. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I said I want 5 pieces. So my biggest piece, which is this one here, I'm going to make it a little smaller. So I'm just going to take one solid line and draw it all the way to the end. Okay, so now there is a lot of lines all the way on the back of this page. So this is how you would do if you've decided to take a picture from a magazine or use the back of or the front, sorry, of the cereal box or any picture you find, or a picture that you've printed. This is the step that you'd go to next. Drawing the pattern on the back of the page so that you can cut it out. Remember, don't make it too difficult if you really have difficulty cutting, but maybe challenge yourself. This is your time to shine. So when we're cutting, again, I'm looking at the paper, I'm deciding where I'm going to start. Thumbs up. I'm holding it with my other hand and I'm looking at the page the whole time to cut out each piece. When I'm cutting, I'm moving the page the whole time so I can stay on the lines. I don't have to rush. I keep looking and I keep moving the page as I'm cutting. With the ones that are a little bit more tricky, the smaller zigzags and the wavy line, I might have to hold the page a little closer to the line so that I have more control. Remember, our hand that's cutting is being more still, and our supporting hand is going to do all the moving. And we're always keeping our thumb facing upwards. This is my wavy line. Again, I'm going a little closer to the line where I'm holding it on. A thumbs up, and I start cutting. And I also move my hand around as I'm getting closer towards the tip. So now instead of holding it on the bottom where I started, I move my hand to the top so I get more control. And I'm holding my page firmer. There we go. I've got all my pieces cut out. Here they are. Now is the time to build my puzzle. Let's see how I do. There's that one. This one maybe goes there. That looks about right. That I think goes there. Where would this one go? I'm looking for a wavy line, so that wavy line is there, so that matches up there. And I've got it. There's my puzzle. I did it. All my pieces are together. It started as a whole picture. Now it's a puzzle. So I've just used regular paper. What you can also do is stick this page before you cut it out, stick it on some cardstock or construction paper just to make it a little bit more solid. Um, and then draw the lines like I did on the back of the cardstock or the construction paper just to make it a little more steady, and it will last a little longer. But it's really up to you. The whole thing for this week's session is coloring and showing me that control, working on our control to stay in the lines, and when you're cutting, looking at the page, holding it with your one hand while you're cutting with the other, and looking at the page to stay on the lines. Remember, if you're working on cutting out straight lines, draw only straight lines. Those who are working on wavy lines, you can draw wavy lines. And if you want to be really challenging, you can do something different and challenge yourself. It's up to you. But this is a fun way to make different puzzles, and I hope that you enjoy making it and you make some fun pictures, because I know some of you are really, really creative. So enjoy it. Bye.